Hey, what's going on? My name is Brian Pickowitz. I'm one of the head coaches and co-founders here at the Fitness Project. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit about what makes the difference between someone who is successful in their journey to be healthier, in their process to get back into shape, or to change the quality of their lifestyle, and someone who starts and stops, someone who can't be consistent, someone who consistently tries, but eventually falls off course. Up to this point, I've coached thousands of people over the last 10 years, and there's some key distinctions that I think really make the world a difference that I want to share with you today. And I know that a lot of people are going to say, oh, well, it must be their diet, right? The people who are successful have a different diet. They have a keto diet, or they're paleo, or they're vegan, or they go only on meat. Maybe some people think it's their workout plan, right? But the truth is, at least from my perspective and the things that I've seen, is it's not about what we do, it's about how we do it. Our ability to navigate challenges, our ability to look at circumstances that aren't ideal and continue to persist through them. It's our ability to handle turbulence that makes the world a difference in our quality of life and who we become. And to illustrate this, I want you to imagine for a moment that you're a pilot, right? You've gone through all the simulations, you've done all the training. You're someone who has learned how to fly a plane, but you haven't quite stepped out there yet. You haven't had your first real flight by yourself. Now, I want you to imagine that you sit down in the cockpit. You're flying. You're going from A to B. You know your destination. You know the path. And as you're flying, you hit your first turbulence. Hit your first experience where maybe you doubt yourself. Maybe you're not sure of what your next action is. And that's probably anxiety provoking. Probably brings up a lot of negative emotions. Maybe there's a little bit of fear, a little bit of doubt, a little bit of worry. And at first, you think, okay, I have two different options. I can succeed. I can get myself to my end destination. I can get myself there safely and take care of all my passengers. Or if you don't show up, if you don't see something you're going to learn through, if you don't persist through the turbulence, you fail. And there's a massive cost to that. Now, if you're in that situation, right, what do you think makes the world a difference for someone who's successful and someone who fails? Well, from my perspective, there's three things. There's three things that make the world a difference for how we persist through turbulence and how we would really step into a position of success in that situation. The first is taking control, right? You are in the plane, you're in the plane, you start to hit turbulence. The first thing you have to do is you have to grab the controls. You have to decide to focus on what is within your control, what you can do. What are you going to take ownership of? What are you going to have the responsibility of following through on or focusing on, right? Or the opposite of that is you don't take control. You allow the turbulence to be the only thing that's happening. You let go of the wheel, you let go of the controls, and things fall apart. So we have to take control. We have to step forward in challenging times and say, I'm going to focus on what I can control. That might be the next decision. That might be the next workout. That might be just deciding to not make things worse than what they are, right? If we take control, we have ownership of the circumstance. The second thing is we have to direct our focus. So you have to be in the cockpit. You take control, you focus on where you're going. You focus on navigating through the storm. You focus on navigating through the turbulent time that you're in. Because whatever you're focusing on, you're going to feel. You're going to be able to persist through. If you're focusing on only the turbulence, and if you don't have someone where you're going, then you're going to cave. You're going to tell yourself the story that the turbulence is the reason why you didn't succeed. Whereas in fact, there's some people who change that story and they say, hey, I focused on persisting despite the turbulence, and that is why I succeeded, right? We need to have a compelling future that we're moving towards. We need to know our end destination, but we also have to have something in the short term that we're overcoming. And so if we're in that situation, we need to have control. We need to have focus. And the last thing we need is we need to have faith. Now, faith is the belief in the unseen. And you can imagine if you were flying that plane, there might be some moments where you were in doubt. Intellectually, you might know that you have what it takes. You have the skills intellectually. You did the simulation. You have the knowledge of how to do this. You might intellectually believe that the plane will be okay. But emotionally, do you believe it? Emotionally, can you override the doubt of maybe I don't have what it takes? Maybe it's just another failure. I told myself I couldn't do this, right? How do we override that emotion, that doubt, that fear, that worry? We have to have faith. And there's really three things we'd have to have faith in that moment. The first thing we'd have to have faith in is that we could handle it, that we're the kind of person who can do it. And we have to continue to lean in that direction of stoking that fire of personal faith. I have faith in myself. I have faith in my ability. I can figure this out. And it's not just positive thinking, it's positive being. It's choosing how we're going to show up in the circumstance. The second thing we have to have faith in is our plane. Do we have the right strategy? Is this not the right strategy? Do I need a different vehicle to get me there? It's okay to change vehicles once you land. Maybe right now you just need to persist with what you have. And then the third thing you'd have to have faith in is that the turbulence wouldn't last forever. Because hard times do not last forever. Hard people do. And so having that faith that this is just a moment in time, that you are someone who can handle it and withstand it, is going to make the world of difference as to whether you succeed or whether you fail. And so if you think of anyone who's really successful, right? Someone who's really successful in your life that you admire. It could be a family member, it could be a friend, it could be an athlete, it could be a musician. They have all overcome tremendous challenges in their life. And even if you've ever experienced something that was easy, right? Where you're like, oh, I just kind of showed up and it happened. That's luck. That's not normal. Every single one of us lives through turbulence. The difference is how do we handle it? And so if you're on the journey, if you're on the path to working on yourself, to building a better lifestyle, to building better habits, to building a better business, whatever it is that you're focusing on, you have to remember that turbulence is actually going to reveal you. It's going to reveal your character. It's going to reveal that part of you that is the best. And the more you condition yourself to take control, to focus, to have faith, the easier and easier and easier it will get over time. Because when that challenge comes up, you'll be able to spot it. When that challenge happens, you'll be able to handle it. You have trained yourself to know that you can handle hard things. And that's one of the most wonderful things about fitness is it teaches you that you can do hard things. You can have faith in yourself. You can push your comfort zone and get better. It's the building block of personal development, and it impacts everything that we do. And so I want to just give this to you as a little reminder. You can persist through hard times. You can persist through challenges. You can overcome that turbulence. And what's more important to remember is that you don't have a choice because you're up in the air either way, right? We're all in the air. Life is happening. And we can either focus on moving forward or we can stay stuck. We can stay in this place and eventually we'll just crash. And so it's a choice. It's a hard choice. It's not easy, but continue to persist. Continue to take control of what you can control. Continue to focus on what you want long-term and what you want in this moment and what you have to get to as that next step, and have faith. It's going to work out. Cheers.